Hey guys, Parfax here, and today we're going to be talking about the dev video. All right, let's get started. So, in the dev video, as you can see here, they went over the Brimstone stands, they went over Greatsword, and they went over a little bit of territory control, as well with a few other things. Well, first, let's talk a little bit about Brimstone, and they went into a little bit of detail, and they said it's about 3 full zones. So, basically, if you picture the Shattered Mountain, Eden Grove, and Great Cleave, that's going to be right around the size of this zone. It's going to be absolutely massive. It is gorgeous. Look at it. You have so much different types of architecture. We have like cathedrals. We have like Aztec pyramids. Like, it looks absolutely crazy. We do have a dungeon, which you're going to see here in a little bit. We're not going to go in too depth detail because they really didn't as well. But the one big thing I wanted to touch on here, and the main purpose for this video, is the Greatsword. So the Greatsword is the next weapon. We knew that. And as you can see here, it absolutely looks gorgeous. It has 2 different styles. It has basically the attacking stance, and it has the defensive stance. We will go over in another video. We'll look at the tree, look at all the skills, the abilities. We will go over that. But right now, we're just going to talk about the generalization of it. It looks absolutely insane. This side of the tree here is the attacking side. You will suffer from a little bit of extra damage taken, but you're going to do more damage. A Berserk playstyle, which is absolutely my favorite. I love Berserk bombers, Berserk playstyle. I'm going to use it. And here you can see the defensive side of the tree. You're going to sacrifice damage for defensiveness. Now, I don't know if it is just abilities, if you have to spec all the way into one, if you can do a little bit of one in the other. I do not know this yet. I will find this out when it comes to the PTR, which should be shortly, and we will talk about that here in a little bit. But the Greatsword also scales, supposedly, evenly on strength and dex. That may not sound like anything. You're like, we have multiple scaling weapons in the game already, but none of them scale evenly. If you look at the spear and any other weapon that has dual scaling, it scales 90% effectiveness on one stat, like the spear is dex, then 70% on another stat, which is strength. So maybe both of this is 80%, which means maybe for the first 300 points, it's not going to be as good as, something like the spear. But as soon as you start scaling over that 300 points, it's going to start becoming massive. We will have to see. I will give you the entire skill tree. You're going to see a lot of videos coming up here really shortly. It's going to be pretty crazy. Now, they did also talk a little bit about the new way that you're going to be territory controlling. So they haven't said that nothing's set in stone, but essentially they're going to make it to where you have to have a certain percentage of the players on your defense to be your own company. So you're going to have, like they said, right around the 35-ish number. So there's going to be no more, other companies that can just sit there and, your shell companies, because you're going to have a cooldown of when you can do wars, when you can swap guilds, etc. They said it's all a little bit experimental, and they haven't decided exactly where they're going to land on. But they're also shifting some of the power out of Windsward and Everfall and going to be spreading it out to other territories so that 1 or 2 companies don't get 80% of the money, which I think is a good thing. I think most people, unless you own one of those territories, believe that it's a little bit too much power for those specific territories. And one thing they kind of slipped in there was they wanted crafters to be able to use tier 5 benches. So I think we're not going to have downgraded benches anymore. That was kind of something they kind of slid in there towards the end. We will see. I don't know that for a fact, but they kind of slid that in there so that, they would give us something, but they didn't really say anything specifically. We'll have to find out, but I look forward to finding out. They did talk about the new expedition, and they talked about the PTR release. The PTR release is going to be here soon, I believe. The PTR is coming down at 1 p.m. Eastern. So by the time this video comes out, it might be down, and it is getting ready for the next release. What they're going to put on there first is going to be the new leveling experience. They're going to talk about that, which you can kind of see in the background. And they want you to get on there and test it for new players. I've had this theory that they're going to be rolling out like a new release of the game, and then whether that's going to be in another region, which I knew they were working on, but they had stopped, or they're going to be releasing more servers, and they're going to be doing a big push towards you know, more players coming in. And if they do that, they're going to probably have to add some servers. So they might add some fresh start servers, maybe with some like double XP, etc., to help people kind of get caught up. I don't know anything like that for a fact. That's just kind of what it's kind of been what they've been gearing towards. And then they're also going to have the Greatsword as the first release. We're not going to see Brimstone, the new expedition, or we might not see something else, which we will kind of hint at the end of this video. But as soon as the PTR goes live, we will put the Greatsword in our hands and we will bring you a ton of videos on it. But have no fear, we will have more videos today. There's a ton of content that needs to come out. We have everything from, we can see the Greatsword passives, and we can see, well, new weapon ultimates. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, like always, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.